back to POV Italian Cooking in association with Simply Good Food TV, where today we're going to be looking at the second of 4 lost episodes in which I'm making red pepper risotto. Now before we get started, take a second and click that subscribe button in YouTube and download the Simply Good Food TV app. This is another lost episode, and what I mean by that is I recorded these about a year ago, kind of in my old style of recording where everything was shot POV, had them on my computer, for whatever reason, didn't get them posted to YouTube, but I thought it was worth sharing because this red pepper risotto is absolutely incredible, something you're going to want to make. At any rate, I've spoken long enough, let's get started. Now this side dish would go perfect with chicken and with seafood. Today we're going to pair it with some seafood. Now I have struggled in the past to make risotto. I've never been able to get it quite finished. Here in the last couple times I made it, I think I've got it figured out. So I'm going to share some of that with you guys. You might see where I'm going to be jumping back and forth. So when we do like shots of the stove, you're going to see I've got a couple different things going because when I film these episodes, I film them because I'm cooking dinner for my family, so it's not like I go cook and just do it for these recordings. So you might see a little bit of chaos, you might see a whole lot of movement, but at any rate, let's get this going. Let's take a look at the ingredients for our red pepper risotto. Of course, we're going to have about a pound of risotto. I'm going to have 2 boxes of stock warming on the stove. You always use warm stock. It always seems like I never have enough. Of course, we'll use olive oil, just a little sprinkling of olive oil. Always salt and pepper. We're going to have some fresh parsley as well. Of course, we're going to use about a half a cup, 3/4 cup of a wine. I always use Pinot Grigio when I cook. We're going to have 2 red peppers. We'll probably use about a half to 3/4 of our shallots. And we'll use, as always, a couple cloves of garlic. It is time to start the red pepper risotto. So what we're going to do, we're going to use some olive oil, get this hot. Now, as I shared earlier, I'm making several different things. I'm making dinner for my family, so I've got a couple different things going here. But this episode's focusing on the red pepper risotto. So what I've got over here is I've got my chicken broth heating up because you want a nice warm chicken broth to ladle into your risotto. I don't want to go too heavy with the olive oil. What I have here is I've got my finely minced shallots. I've got a couple different recipes that call for the shallots today, so we're going to go with about that much. Perfect. We'll cover these back up. We're going to let these shallots cook for 2 or 3 minutes until they start to get translucent, and then we will be back. Okay, our onions have cooked here for a couple minutes. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add our red peppers. I've got 2 red peppers diced. Now I'm probably not going to use all these. I'm just going to, what the hell, let's use them all. It is red pepper risotto, right? Then we're going to use some garlic. That's about enough garlic. I've got another recipe that calls for the rest of this garlic, so we're going to set it aside. Now we are going to let this cook for about 8 to 10 minutes because we want these peppers to soften a little bit. Go ahead and hit this with some salt. Just salt to taste. Maybe we're going to come back with just a tiny little bit more olive oil here. And that's it. We got this on medium heat. We're going to go about 8 to 10 minutes until all this starts to soften. And then we will be back. Our red peppers have been cooking for about 8 minutes. They are just maybe softening up a little bit. Now it's time to add our risotto. What I've got here is 1 3/4 cups of arboreal rice. You just put that right in. And we're going to let this cook for about, we'll say 3 minutes. Now, it looks like we've got a lot more red peppers than we really should have. But once that rice kind of bloats up, it's going to be right at the perfect mix. Oh my gosh, this smells so good. This is going to be great. So, we're going to let this cook for 3 minutes. Okay, our rice has been cooking for almost 3 minutes, so now it is time to add some wine. So what I like to use is a nice Pinot Grigio. I've got about 2/3 of a cup of white wine. Let's gonna put that in there. Oh, listen to that. We're gonna stir this around. Now, the way to make risotto, or the thing about making risotto, is it's a test of patience. You have to take your time. We're gonna wait for this wine to get absorbed almost completely. Once the wine's absorbed, then we're going to start ladling in our chicken broth, which you want warm chicken broth. So I've had the chicken broth there. It's nice and warm. Actually, it boiled over. Fun, fun, fun. And we're just going to go one ladle at a time. Stir, stir, stir until it's completely absorbed. And then another ladle. Stir, stir, stir. Now my lovely wife is going to help me with this once we get it going. So, let me see. Our wine is pretty much gone. We come in with a ladle of our chicken stock. Do not go too much with your chicken stock. There we go. Now we're just going to stir this until that one's gone. Then we're going to come in with another, and another, and another, and oh Lord, another. We're probably going to use 6 to 7 cups of chicken stock. Better to have too much back there on the stove warm than not enough, because if you use a cold chicken stock, it's going to slow down your absorption process. Look at that chicken stock. The first couple ladles, man, they go pretty quick. See, that one's pretty much gone. We're going to come in with another one. These ladles are probably right around 1/2 cup, give or take. So we're just going to keep stirring. I'm going to keep doing this. Now, when it's almost done, when we taste it and it's almost tender like we want it, we're going to come in with 1/2 cup of shredded Parmesan. That's going to give us our creaminess. And then we're going to come in with another ladle of our chicken stock. So guys, this is, I know it's entertaining as heck to watch this, but I'm going to break away. So our risotto is pretty much where we need it. So what I've got here, I've got about 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. We're going to come in with the Parmesan cheese. We're going to hit it with some more broth. This cheese is going to make it a little creamy. So we're going to stir this, and then this is done. Once it absorbs that broth I put in, this is done. Our risotto, you can see it got a little bit creamier from that Parmesan. Vanna White here is stirring for us. That risotto is, we're going to take it off the heat, and it's going to soak up the rest of that liquid. You can see it's nice and creamy, right, perfect. That is done. I plated up some of our red pepper risotto. Got some shine, sweaty shine going. Let's give this a shot. I'm doing quick tastings today because I'm making dinner and everything's ready, and I'm just trying to get everything done so my family can eat. So let's give this a shot and see how it is. Oh my gosh.
It's good.
The red pepper flavor. It's clear through the dish. There's just enough Parmesan in there to give it some really good creaminess. This is really good. Really good. Highly recommend making this red pepper risotto. So thank you so much for watching this episode and every other episode of POV Italian Cooking. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn. You guys, thank you so much for watching, and ciao.